Number 10, the Pizzly Bear. The Pizzly Bear, also known as the Growler Bear, how fun is that? This is a fascinating product of climate change. Yeah, not so great, but we're making new animals, so here's the positive side. As the Arctic ice melts and the habitats of polar bears and grizzly bears overlap, these two species have now begun to mate, creating, of course, a hybrid bear. Pizzly bears have the grizzly size and strength, but also now they have the polar bear's ability to survive in colder environments, so we're doomed. Bears are going to take over the world. That's awesome. Scientists are watching this hybrid closely, as it may be a sign of how animals are adapting to our changing world. This is very interesting. Pizzlies could potentially survive in climates where neither parent species could alone. Could this hybrid be nature's solution to a warming planet, or is it a sign of deeper ecological crisis? I vote the first one, for sure. Number 9, the Beefalo. These fun names, they have a lot of fun names for these guys. The Beefalo. In the 1960s, ranchers in the United States began crossbreeding bison with domestic cattle. They did this to create the Beefalo, a hybrid that aimed to combine the best traits of both animals. What could go wrong? The goal was to develop livestock that had the resilience of a bison, able to withstand harsh climates and rugged environments, along with, of course, a higher meat yield of cattle. That would be amazing. The Beefalo was seen as a potential solution for the meat industry, providing more efficient livestock. However, there were some complications. There's always complications. Beefalos were more difficult to manage. They would often escape enclosures and just run off into the night, even mixing with other wild bison populations, which now caused an environmental concern. So while the Beefalo is still bred today, it never quite replaced traditional cattle farming just yet. And I say yet because I have to ask, do you think hybrids like the Beefalo could be part of the future of sustainable farming, or do they present too many challenges? I mean, he's got to stop escaping his pen. That's probably a problem. Let's talk to him about that. Number 8, Zorse. The Zorse. Sounds so medieval and majestic. The Zorse is what happens when you cross, you guessed it, a zebra and a horse. And it's as wild as it sounds. Breeding between these two species began in the 1800s, particularly in Africa and Europe, where people were fascinated by the idea of combining the zebra's iconic stripes with the trainability of a horse. They're like, yeah, the horse is good, but what if it had stripes? Zorses inherit the zebra's toughness as well and resilience to diseases, making them hardy animals, if anything. But they also come with a bit of the zebra's wild side as well. Can't have a zebra without getting a little wild, okay? Let me tell you about these guys. Zorses are typically used for riding and work, though they can be more difficult to train than regular horses. Now what's fascinating is that, like mules, Zorses are usually sterile, meaning that every generation has to be bred from scratch. Yeah, made in a laboratory. Could a Zorse ever become a mainstream alternative to horses? I sure hope not. We don't need stripes. Just keep the horses doing horse stuff. We don't need to customize their colors, alright? Let them be. Number 7, the Liger. If you've seen Napoleon Dynamite in the last, 27 years, this one will ring a bell. Ligers are the incredible result of crossbreeding a male lion and a female tiger, and they've been bred in captivity since the early 19th century. Now these massive felines can grow up to twice the size of their parents, super scary, often weighing over 900 pounds. Ligers inherit the lion's social behavior and the tiger's love for water, creating a truly unique, terrifying creature. They are bred primarily in zoos and private collections, all that shady stuff, as lions and tigers don't naturally live in the same habitats, right? It doesn't happen anywhere else but in these labs. Now, despite their impressive size, ligers have some health challenges due to their hybrid nature. Yeah, you can't just introduce a new lung and then be like, oh, I feel good. No, something's gonna happen. The ethics of breeding ligers are hotly debated, as some question the practice of creating hybrids solely for human curiosity, and that's a bit icky, which I agree. At least the other animals on this list, they wanna fix climate change or do something, adapt. This one, they're like, yeah, let's just see what happens. Roll the dice. Not a fan. Number 6, the Dizzo. Oh, that's weird. It says Yak and Cattle. That's probably like a yaddle or like a cack. That's probably why. The Dizzo. High up in the Himalayas, ancient Tibetan and Mongolian farmers created the Dizzo by crossbreeding yaks and domestic cattle. I guess cack didn't really roll off the tongue, so that's fair. Dizzos are stronger and more productive than either of their parents, which makes them perfect for work in these harsh mountain environments. Now these animals are used for everything from plowing fields to carrying goods over steep terrain. They can manage it all, and their milk and meat are highly prized as well. They're kind of nailing it. Now what makes the Dizzo even more remarkable is its ability to thrive in high altitudes where other animals might struggle. However, like many hybrids, Dizzos are often sterile, like I mentioned earlier, which means farmers have to continuously breed new ones. They can't just sustain themselves. Would you ever see a Dizzo? I mean, it sounds like the least of our concerns so far on this list. Better than a striped zebra horse tiger thing. I don't even know what's going on over there. This one seems fun. Number 5, Leopon. A leopard plus the lion. This is what you get. In the early 1900s, Japanese zookeepers managed to crossbreed a male leopard and a lioness, resulting in the exotic Leopon, Leopon, one of those. These hybrids are larger than leopards but smaller than lions and have the body shape of a lion with beautiful spots of a leopard. Yeah, paint that picture. Leopons are agile climbers like leopards, but they also have some of the social characteristics of lions. Now, because lions and leopards don't live in the same areas naturally, Leopons only exist sadly in captivity. This list is interesting, right? It's very science heavy, but when you hear about these animals that are just stuck in captivity, that part sucks a lot. They've been bred for study and as attractions in zoos. That's it, right? They're not free to go. Though visually stunning, these hybrids do raise questions about whether crossbreeding for the sake of novelty is even ethical in the first place. Would you want to see more Leopons in zoos, or would you want to see less zoos in general? Comment down below. I want to see how you feel about hybrids and zoos and just the whole thing in general. Personally, I don't think we should fuck with any animal, but here we are. Let's continue on with the mule, one of the most well-known and successful animal hybrids of all time. Mules, which are the offspring of a male donkey and a female horse, have been bred for thousands of years. Evidence of mule breeding dates back to ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt, where they were valued for their strength, endurance, and their ability to work long hours. These guys are OG, they go way back. Mules combine the horse's size and speed with the donkey's durability, making them ideal for farming, heavy labor, and transportation, right? They nailed it right across the board. Now, despite their usefulness, mules are sterile, which means new ones have to be bred every time, which is exhausting, I bet. Interestingly, mules were also prized for their intelligence and calm demeanor. Yeah, why do you think mules became so essential to ancient civilizations? Could they have played a bigger role in shaping these early economies? Did a mule build the pyramid? Did we just figure it out? Number 3, Savannah cat. In the 1980s, breeders in the US took on the challenge of crossing a wild African cat with a domestic cat, right? Getting all catty up in here. The result was the Savannah cat, a beautiful, large, and sleek hybrid with the exotic appearance of a wild animal, but the temperament of a pet. Coolest pet ever, or an accident waiting to happen? These cats are known for their loyalty and often behave more like dogs, if anything, following their owners around and playing fetch, all that fun stuff. However, they can also be unpredictable, thanks to their other half, their wild heritage. Now, Savannah cats require more care and space than the average house cat, of course, and their ownership is restricted in some places. Would you ever consider owning a part wild animal, or does the idea of having a pet with wild instincts sound like too much to handle? I've seen enough Tiger King to know your answer. Let's move on. Number 2, the Wholphin. A whale plus a dolphin. What do you get? A fun word, a Wholphin. Sounds like a burger, like a Whopper, like a Wholphin. What is that? In 1985, a rare and surprising hybrid was born at Sea Life Park in Hawaii. Yeah, imagine going there and you're like, oh, we have a new animal today. How fun is that? Enjoy. This animal is a cross between a bottlenose dolphin and a false killer whale, which is a large species of dolphin. Now, Wholphins are extremely rare, but they are known for their intelligence and speed, combining both traits from their parent species. Now, what's fascinating is that Wholphins inherit a mixture of both whale and dolphin characteristics, but they're capable of incredible performances in aquatic shows, which is sad to hear, but they are smart. However, breeding these hybrids in captivity does raise questions about the ethics of creating these hybrids just for the purpose of entertainment. Know what I mean? Like, we're trying to get rid of these SeaWorlds all around the world. We're not trying to make new animals in these parks. We're going backwards now. Could the Wholphin become a symbol of our fascination with crossing species, or is it a step towards a deeper understanding of marine life? Yeah. SeaWorld. Let's move on. Number 1, Coydog, the coyote and dog. The coy dog is very coy, this dog, absolutely. Coy dogs are hybrids between domestic dogs and coyotes, and they've existed for centuries, right? Native American tribes are believed to have encountered and possibly bred coy dogs a long time ago. Now, coy dogs are known for being intelligent and adaptable, but they can also inherit the wild instincts of coyotes, making them more difficult to train than regular dogs. Yeah, imagine training a coyote. No thank you, I'm good, I'm all set. They're still found in some areas where coyotes and domestic dogs cross paths. Of course, that's bound to happen. Coy dogs have sparked debates about the domestication of wild animals and whether they can truly coexist as pets. I'm a firm believer in no, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. Let the animal go. All right. Could coy dogs represent a step towards future hybridization of pets, or are they a reminder of the challenges in blending wildlife and domestic species? It's just a bad idea. Like, stop breeding animals. Let things happen by themselves. We don't need a striped coy dog Wholphin hybrid. We don't need that. This isn't Jurassic Park, all right? I'm Taylor McWaters, and we'll see you next time on Bumblebee. Thanks for watching. Peace. Whoever's editing this, I might cough a bunch, so sorry about that. I won't do it right in your ear. Beefalos were more difficult to manage, often escaping at closure. They'd escape. That's so funny. How did they get out? They're so big. Now, could the Dizzo with his I keep saying like Lizzo. I'm hearing Lizzo in my head. Could the Dizzo, with his incredible strength and adaptability... breeders in the US took on the challenge of crossing an African... What the f is that? Why are these weird hieroglyphs back? Servala... Whatever, I'm just gonna... I hate how it does that.